for the first time in, I think, 4 years now, the Trump administration is making them take away "end racism," which they had written in the end zone, right?
It just seems silly. I mean,
to do it or not to do it?
Why get rid of it?
Oh, I could tell you why.
I know, but it's just like you're
because it was stupid to begin with.
Yeah, but
let me ask you, who is it for? And if you're a racist and you see "end racism" in the end zone, you're going to stop being a racist? But I think it's an asshole to nag us during a football game about something that doesn't change anything or any. If I'm not a racist and I see it, it doesn't matter. And if I am a racist, it's going to make me more of a racist.
Like, I think if you write "don't be an asshole" in the end zone, everybody will agree with that.
Yeah! I saw supposed to make our lives easier. That's the whole point. Washing machines did more for women's liberation than 1,000 lesbian-run bookstores. And I know for a fact that Elon Musk is planning to grow a mustache just to troll the libs.
This might just be the most baffling video I've ever made, all thanks to Bill Maher's unpredictable nature. Love him or hate him, Maher has built a career on calling out hypocrisy. But this time, he didn't just criticize the Democrats, he absolutely tore through their agenda, exposing corruption that's been festering for years. But here's the real question, why now? Is Maher finally seeing through the illusion, or is there something bigger happening behind the scenes? Watch this video and let me know in the comments if you think there's more to this than meets the eye. It all started with his latest show where he hosted Representative Byron Donalds. In a move that stunned many, Maher openly questioned why the Democrats had spent 4 years concealing key information from the public. He wasn't just making vague accusations, he was hitting them where it hurt, pointing out inconsistencies, backroom deals, and policies that seemed designed to keep Americans in the dark. Donalds didn't hold back either. He fired back with brutal honesty, exposing what he called blatant hypocrisy within the Democratic ranks. Live on CNN, no less. He laid out example after example, painting a picture of a party more focused on power than the people. And this is where things get really interesting. Bill Maher has never been shy about his opinions, but this level of direct criticism, this deep dive into corruption, it's almost as if he's peeling back the curtain on something we were never supposed to see. So what's really going on here? Is Maher distancing himself from the left because he senses a major shift coming? Is he genuinely fed up with the party's tactics? Or is this all part of a larger game being played in Washington? And let's not forget the bigger implications. If Maher, one of Hollywood's most well-known liberal voices, is calling out Democrats this aggressively, what does that mean for the future of the party? Could we be witnessing the beginning of a major political realignment? One thing's for sure, this isn't just another talk show moment. This feels like the start of something much bigger. Now it's your turn. What do you think is really happening? Is this just Maher being Maher, or is there more at play behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is far from over.
Under the previous administration, we would have inquiries. We would request information. We would want cabinet secretaries and assistant secretaries and deputy secretaries to come before committee. We would send letter after letter after letter and get no response. The Biden administration operated literally in the shadows. They would not tell you anything that was going on. At least Donald Trump puts it out in the litany of orders that come out that day. Here's what we're doing today. We're going into the Department of Justice. We are taking these attorneys and they are under supervisory review, or however they choose to phrase it. You knew nothing that was going on in Joe Biden's presidency. So if democracy truly dies in darkness, I would rather have an executive tell me what they're doing as opposed to hiding it from the Americans.
Watching all of this unfold, one thing becomes crystal clear. They aren't even trying to evolve. It's as if they're stuck in an endless cycle, repeating the same tired strategies without ever stepping back to reassess. Meanwhile, someone like Bill Maher, regardless of whether you agree with him or not, at least brings a different perspective to the table. He challenges narratives, sparks debate, and keeps the conversation moving forward. But what about the rest? They seem content with recycling the same rhetoric, refusing to adapt to the changing landscape. It's no wonder so many celebrities and talk show hosts had a collective meltdown when Trump was elected. His victory shattered their carefully crafted illusion of influence, exposing just how disconnected they had become from the broader audience. They weren't shaping public opinion the way they believed. They were trapped in their own echo chamber, and if you look at how they handled their messaging, it becomes even more obvious why they failed. Instead of crafting a compelling, forward-thinking vision, their approach to marketing their campaign was bizarre, erratic, and at times outright self-destructive. Rather than winning hearts and minds, they poured all their energy into fueling division, alienating potential supporters, and in the end, achieving nothing except amplifying the very hate they claim to oppose. This isn't just about politics, it's about a fundamental shift in the way media and entertainment interact with the world. For years, these figures operated under the assumption that their influence was untouchable, but reality hit them hard. The old ways don't work anymore, and clinging to them only makes their decline more obvious. The real question is, will they ever wake up and adapt, or are they destined to keep repeating the same mistakes until no one is listening anymore? One thing's for sure, audiences are no longer blindly following the script. The game has changed. The only question left is whether they're capable of playing it.
There's even a trend now among liberal women of wearing blue bracelets to signal that they're Kamala voters and therefore safe to approach and talk to, because God forbid you fall into some checkout line chit-chat with, gasp, a Republican. And many young women are now also pledging never to have sex with any man who voted for Trump. Really? That's your big plan? Embargoing the pussy? It's so egotistical, as if the ultimate punishment is not letting people have you. Hey, you know what? You weren't fucking Trump-type guys anyway. Well, except for Taylor.
I know you might be wondering where this is headed, but hear me out. Bill Maher isn't confined to the left or the right. He's more of a provocateur, calling out flaws wherever he sees them. And this time, he didn't hold back. In one brutal exchange, he put a clueless Democrat on full display, exposing exactly why Trump won and why the Democrats keep falling short.
How are we actually getting our kids to have a shot?
But you keep talking about kids. He also won because parents were a little fed up with parents coming in second in a who says what goes with my kids contest.
Right. But which Democrat is for that? I mean, I have kids. I mean, most Democrats believe that parents should have a say in their kids' education. These have been
well, here in California, I think the governor here used the word snitch. Yeah. Like a parent, if you inform...
Time them out. Tell on the parents. Point them out. The parents will be in trouble.
If the kid switched genders in school, you know, they hid that from the parent.
And as a guy that was born in the Bronx, raised in the streets of New York, I can assure you, snitch has an entirely different meaning than what they put out. I can promise you that. I can promise you.
He didn't just dismantle him, he exposed a fundamental flaw that sent shockwaves through the entire Democratic Party. In one swift move, he revealed a blind spot so critical that recovering from it won't be easy. But that wasn't all. Bill also pulled back the curtain on how Gen Z is being subtly misled and manipulated, often without even realizing it. The question now is, will they wake up to it, or will the cycle continue?
4 in 10 Gen Zers say the authors of the Constitution are best described as villains. Wow. In 1776, James Monroe was 18. Alexander Hamilton was 21 and James Madison 25. Joe Biden was only 30. America's founders, they were the Gen Z of their day. And when they were your age, they started a country. What the fuck have you done? Grossed out and I've gone camping with John Waters. A 2014 CNN report discovered that at least 35 Disney employees had been arrested for sex crimes against children, and in 2021, Disney Child's...
That's one of the things I respect most about Bill Maher. He never holds back, no matter who's watching. He speaks his mind without fear, no filters, no hesitation. And once again, he's pulling back the curtain on where all that money really went. Don't miss the next video where he breaks it all down. Every dollar, every twist, and every hidden detail.
Union Education Party and you've turned schools and colleges into a joke. What a shocker that the people who see everything through the lens of race and sex see their election loss as a result of racism and sexism. Kamala spent 100 days telling voters, I know it feels like crime and illegal immigration are bad, but fuck your feelings. Look at this chart. Have you seen my "In this house we believe" lawn sign? See, it says right on it, we believe in science. Right, which is why you demanded no one even debate whether COVID could have escaped from the one lab in the one city where they were studying it. How far-fetched. Democrats have become like a royal family that, because of so much incest, has unfortunately had children who are retarded.
One burning question remains. Is Bill Maher subtly signaling a shift toward conservatism, or is he simply holding a mirror up to the left, forcing them to face uncomfortable truths? For years, Maher has been a self-proclaimed liberal, a staunch advocate for free speech, and an unapologetic critic of both sides. But recently, his commentary has been striking a different chord, one that some believe leans more toward the right than ever before. His relentless critiques of woke culture, cancel culture, and the progressive left have made him a surprising favorite among conservatives. But is this really a political transformation, or is he just frustrated with the direction of modern liberalism? Some argue that Maher hasn't changed at all. It's the left that has shifted so far that he now appears more moderate or even conservative by comparison. One thing is certain, he's not afraid to call out hypocrisy, and no one is safe from his sharp critiques. Case in point, his recent takedown of The View and Whoopi Goldberg, Maher didn't hold back, challenging the show's political bias and questioning whether the so-called debate on The View is anything more than a one-sided echo chamber. So what do you think? Is Maher genuinely drifting toward conservative values, or is he simply urging the left to recalibrate and regain its balance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't seen his brutal breakdown of The View and Whoopi Goldberg, click here to watch. It's a takedown you don't want to miss.